What's going on, guys? My name is Ted, bringing you all a video today for the HTC One X. This is a great device. I absolutely loved this device when I had it, and I've now moved on to the Samsung Galaxy S3, and although this device is a few months old, I wanted to go over some of the hardware and software specs on this device and give you guys kind of a general idea of how great this device is, and to hopefully give you guys an idea of whether or not you should go out and buy it for yourself. So starting off with the software specs, you're coming with Android 4.0.4, which is the second newest version of Android. It's a great version of Android, and although it's not quite the best, they will be upgrading HTC One X to Jelly Bean within the coming months. HTC is definitely going to provide support for this phone, considering it's their current flagship device. And although it's not the best version of Android right now, it is still a very good version of Android. Also, as far as the user interface goes, for the HTC One X, you're coming with HTC Sense 4.1, which is, in my personal opinion, the current best user interface out there. Samsung has TouchWiz, and Motorola and LG have their own really weird versions of user interface. But HTC has the best one, in my personal opinion. It's the prettiest, it's the cleanest, it's the most subtle, and I really do like the user interface of the HTC One X. It's absolutely beautiful, and the phone itself is very aesthetically pleasing. The design of it, the layout, the materials it's made out of are not plastic but more metallic. And I think they're more of a polycarbonate, but they're still a very, very nice material for this device. As far as your screen goes, you're coming with a 4.7-inch display. It's got a 1280 by 720 resolution, which is very, very good, which is 312 pixels per inch. This is absolutely fantastic. It's one of the highest pixel density screens we've seen in quite a while. In fact, as of right now, there's no Android phone with a higher pixel per inch ratio on a 4.7-inch display, so that's something that's really important to you. If you really like those crisp images, I think it's very important to most everybody, then this is the phone for you. It's got a great display. It looks absolutely beautiful and stunning, and it really matches the rest of the phone's design. As far as the processor goes, over here in America, you're coming with a 1.5 gigahertz dual-core Tegra 3 processor. This is very, very fast and powerful, but it's even beat out by the international version of this phone, which comes with a 1.5 gigahertz quad-core processor, which is even better. The main reason for this is that over here in America, we have 4G LTE on almost all of our networks, and that 4G LTE antenna is was not compatible with the Tegra 3 processor in this device. So over here in America, we got dumbed down to a dual core, but y'all guys over there in international, although you don't have the 4G LTE, you have a quad core processor, so you definitely have a buff up there. Very, very distinct difference. And the Tegra 3 processor is really good for graphics. Anything that's like a game or whatever you're trying to do on your phone is going to run absolutely beautifully smooth. Nothing's going to drop frame rate on this device. Unless it's very, very, very graphic intensive game and you've got a lot of processors running in the background, you should really never notice lag on this device because of those Tegra 3 processors when you're playing games. As far as your RAM and your ROM goes, you're coming with 1 gigabyte of RAM, which is not very good anymore. It used to be very good when the phone got released back in May, but nowadays it's not very good. Nowadays you're looking more toward 2 gigabytes as being the best, but it's still very good for basic multitasking. If you want to open some apps that you've had in the past, you can definitely open them up very quickly with your recent tab app. It's on the right side of your on-screen displays, and it's very nice. I do like 1 gigabyte of RAM, but I wish they would have included more to kind of keep up with the pace of the flagship devices these days, having 2 gigabytes of RAM. As far as ROM goes, one thing that I don't like about this device is it only gives you 16 gigabytes of RAM. Of ROM over here in the USA and 32 gigabytes internationally, but they don't give you any option to expand that. So you can't buy more storage. You can't pay them like $100 and they'll increase the storage to 64 gigabytes, as we see for like the iPhones or some of the other Android devices. But they do, and they also don't allow you to have the option to have a micro SD card, which I thought was very, very narrow-sighted. That's the great thing about all the Android products, is that most of them allow you to have a micro SD card slot, which is a cheap way to expand your storage and have it removable. They don't give you that option on this device. I don't know why they didn't. Very narrow-sighted, like I said, but it's definitely one of the negative features of this device. But 16 gigabytes over here in America and 32 internationally will do most people just fine, unless you're really recording a lot of videos like myself, or you're doing a lot of stuff with your phone, like a lot of apps and a lot of photos, or a lot of music in general. You might find this is not enough, and there's no way to expand it, which really, really is a negative feature of this device. As far as your camera goes, you're coming with an 8 megapixel rear-facing camera that records at 1080p resolution, and a 1.3 megapixel front-facing camera that records at 720p HD resolution. Both very good cameras, but they're also very, very standard nowadays. I think a lot of the phones have this kind of a spec nowadays, so you really don't see that being extravagant. Some of the phones like the LG Optimus G have a 13 megapixel camera, which is just blowing it out of the water. This phone is no high-end camera, but it is still a very nice camera at 8 megapixels. As far as your battery life goes, it comes with an 1800 milliamp hour battery. This isn't very good. When I had this phone, I found my battery life dying endlessly throughout the day. I couldn't keep a full charge, and I'd have to charge it several times throughout the day, like take a break in the middle of class, plug it in for a couple hours, get up to full charge. That was me using it endlessly, so I don't think most people are going to have that problem. But for me personally, I did find the battery life was just nothing compared to what I needed it to be. And that was one of the main reasons I moved on to the Galaxy S3, is because the Galaxy S3 had a removable battery where I could add in extra battery life as I needed to, switch out batteries throughout the day. This phone, you cannot remove the battery. You can't even get to the back of the phone. You can't pull it off at all. So if you find this is not enough battery life for you, there's no way to circumvent that by getting a double battery or getting extra batteries so you can plug in and out throughout the day. There's no way to reach the battery, and that's one negative feature of this phone as well. It does have NFC capability, so you can tap these two phones together and you can move data from one phone to the other. Really neat thing about Android that iPhone doesn't have is that you can have this feature so you can transfer photos and videos very, very quickly to you and your friends. I'm in college, I got a lot of college buddies, a lot of photos that I want to share between my friends, and there's just no way to do that on an Apple phone unless you use like Bluetooth or some other archaic method. With these, you just tap the phones together, very easy, it takes no time at all. This phone is released. It got released back in May, so if you want it, you can go out and buy it today. I definitely suggest this phone. It's on sale for like $100. It's just they're giving it away now, and it's such a great phone. It was fantastic. It was beautiful. It felt good, and just in general, it'll stay as a standard of phones for quite a while. Even though it's been several months now since this phone release date, almost 5 full months since this phone got released, it's still a great device, and I don't foresee it getting old anytime soon. So if you're looking for a new phone, this could be the best option for you if you don't have that huge budget on your mind. This is a great build of a phone. I definitely suggest it to anyone that wants to go buy it. I hope you guys like this review. If you have any questions for me, leave them down below. Like I said, I have owned this phone. I did love it. If you want to have any questions for me, leave them down in the comment section down below and I will reply to you. Other than that, guys, have a great day and I'll catch you all later. Bye.